everyone, and welcome to Facebook Live with Guinness World Records. I'm Asha Leo, and yeah, you're probably wondering, why are you dressed like Wonder Woman? Well, I have two words for you. Comic books. Lots of comic books. In fact, 8.5 tons of comic books. I'm in Mission Viejo in California to meet Bob Bretall. He is the largest comic book collection, so let's go see exactly how many. What does she do? Ready? Oh no, we're gonna have to walk. Come on then. Oh, wow, this place is amazing. Oh my gosh, I have never seen so many things before. Bob, this is incredible.
Welcome.
Hi. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. This place is just, I mean, this is every kid's heaven, this place.
Yeah.
And adults too, obviously.
Yeah. When any of my son's friends come over and they kind of see it through the door like you did when you were downstairs, they just, what's up there?
This place is so incredible. I need to know, why comic books? Where did this love of comic books come from?
You know, I started reading them when I was really young. My brother, my memory of it, I was 8. My brother gave me for my birthday, because I had read some random comics before then. You know, my older brothers would read comics, and I'd pick up Uncle Scrooge or Richie Rich or Batman or something. And for my birthday that year, he gave me a coupon that he made that was good for 10 comic books.
Aww.
And if I went to the store and I bought a comic book, I could bring it back and show it to him. He'd mark the thing off, and he'd give me the 15 cents back. They cost 15 cents then. So I went, and actually the first comic I bought, I've got it up on the wall here. It was Amazing Spider-Man 88.
Wow.
That was the first one I bought off the rack at a local store.
Who signed that one?
I have subsequently Stan Lee and John Romita, who Stan wrote it and John Romita is the artist.
Okay.
So many years later, I met them at conventions and had them sign it.
So you started with those coupons.
Yeah. So and then I just started buying Spider-Man every month, and I liked Spider-Man, and then I started reading other Marvel heroes, and
would you say Spider-Man was your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, just because he got me.
Not Wonder Woman.
Not Wonder Woman.
Damn it, I wore the wrong costume.
You look better as Wonder Woman than as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I'd be quite muffled doing this whole interview through the Spider-Man mask.
I have a mask if you want to put it on.
So you started with Marvel heroes.
Yes, and I read exclusively Marvel. I started in 1970. That's when that came out.
Okay.
I didn't move into DC until 77, 78.
Okay.
So I read Marvel for a long time. And even right around then, when I moved over into DC, I actually started reading what we call independent comics, you know, things that are neither Marvel nor DC.
Hang on, there are things that aren't Marvel and DC out there?
There are lots of other comic books. In fact, now what I still read probably 130 new comic books every month. I buy and read. I buy a lot of comic books, and I love a lot of comics. I still read some superheroes, but I would say out of that 130 comics, maybe 30 to 40 are superhero books, and all the rest are all other kind. You know, there's westerns and noir and drama and romance and sci-fi.
Wow, I had no idea.
Everything that you could read a book about or see a TV show or movie about. All those genres are in comics. And I started that as a kid. You know, it's just, I credit Marvel for getting me to like all those other things, because back in the day,
we need to come up here. Look at this collection. It's truly incredible.
I have some statues. I love, 3D representations of things that I love. But, over here, like, this is the son of Satan.
Am I allowed to touch that?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be really careful.
It won't come off.
Oh, okay.
We have earthquakes in California. People ask, it's like, are you worried? Well, you'll notice this doesn't really come off. I use this stuff called quake hold putty.
Okay.
Like, if there's a earthquake, these things really won't come off. They're
going down with the house.
The house has to come down for these things to go. But I read Ghost Rider and Werewolf by Night and Tomb of Dracula. This is by Gene Colan, this sketch.
Look at all this.
That, so I was reading all these different kinds of comics from Marvel that weren't superheroes. Okay. And they had Master of Kung Fu and all these things, and I really liked them. And at a certain point, a lot of them got canceled. They stopped making them, but I still had this desire to read. I mean, I still like superheroes, but I like these other things too. So then
You branched out. Of
I branched out, and a lot of new companies came around. There were companies, First and Eclipse and Dark Horse, and there were just lots of companies putting out all kinds of different comics that were not superheroes.
So for those of you who have just tuned in, this is Bob Bretall, and we're streaming live from Mission Viejo in California, and we're all about comics today. Bob holds the Guinness World Records for the largest comic book collection. So let's talk about this collection. How many do you think there are there? I was told there's 8.5 tons of them, which is sort of the same weight as an elephant, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of comics. It's funny because what somewhat differentiates me from other people who have lots of comics. Well, one, there are dealers, people who buy and sell comics that have way more comic books than I do. But I characterize that's store stock, and they've got duplicates. When I applied for the record, they sent me all the guidelines, and you can't count duplicates.
Okay.
So my count is everyone is different. And also, I've bought all of these pretty much individually. I've been buying these comics every month since 1970.
Wow.
And that was a long time ago. I'm old, And as I've done that and I've read them, that also makes it unique. I know there's no way to objectively measure it, but I've read probably 98% of the comic books that I have.
That's what I love about your story, because they're not just a commodity for you. You love comics. Like, you love the stories in these comics.
I do.
What do you think then is, even if you could say out of this collection, what are your favorites or favorite one, like the story or the superhero? Because you mentioned Spider-Man before.
Yeah. And it changes all the time because I'm continually buying and reading new things, so I discover new things that I love all the time. And that's what I love about comics. There's a new series out called Saga that's very popular. It's a sci-fi kind of romance. It has an appearance in the first issue. The daughter's born and she's a baby, and she actually narrates the series.
Oh, cool.
And now it's about 30 some odd issues in, and she's maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
And it's just following the story, and I read all different kind of things. My superheroes, probably one of the favorite superhero stories I've ever read is called Kingdom Come. It's kind of an alternate reality DC one. It's set in the future of the DC universe. It's after a lot of things have happened. It's by Mark Waid, wrote it, and Alex Ross drew it. I love Alex Ross's art.
Which one over
the
here?
The big original 7
incredible.
Justice League. That's a lithograph, so that's not original art.
But I love the artwork on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I look badass in that one. Look at me.
Yeah, there you go. You got that look.
Everyone thinks that Wonder Woman's Diana Price. It's not. It's actually me. Yeah. If you
So-
have any questions for Bob, please let us know. Leave your questions in the comment box below, and we get to ask them live on the broadcast.
Dylan Axford asks, what's the most valuable comic you own?
Most valuable comic is that Amazing Fantasy 15 over there on the top
You
shelf.
have to go and take a look at it. Why is that the most valuable?
Well, that's kind of like the holy grail of the Silver Age of comics. That's the very first appearance of Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
So, that one is, the comic started in the 1930s with, comics started back in the 1800s. Superhero comics started with Superman in Action Comics #1. I don't really have that many Golden Age, and that was called the Golden Age. I don't really have a lot of Golden Age comics. I started collecting in the 70s with superheroes. I brought my collection back to mostly, I have almost all the Marvel superhero books from Amazing Fantasy 15 forward. I'm missing certain really expensive keys. I don't have the first Iron Man and Tales of Suspense 39. I don't have.
You mentioned Tales of Suspense. What is this one?
So this is a couple of issues after Iron Man premiered. It's one of the older ones I have. I just love that cover.
What date do you think that one is?
Oh, this is the 62, 63.
Wow.
So, I go back to that. I'm missing in total about 48 or so Marvel comics, and they're all really expensive ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just I don't have them because they're just really expensive.
So how many of these did you collect at the time as you were growing up, or now you look back and try and get them?
So basically from 1970 I started collecting Spider-Man. So
you've got pretty much all the Spider-Man.
I've got all this, and then I went back. I have every issue of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I have every Spider-Man everything. But I went back and I collected back issues of the Marvel books. So anything before 1970, guaranteed I didn't buy new because I wasn't buying comics then. And then I started buying most of the Marvel line by probably about 74, 75. So, between 70 and 74, I got a lot of those filled in. I wasn't necessarily buying Avengers when I first started getting Marvel, with Spider-Man and stuff. But I remember, even now, the very first Avengers I bought off the rack was 106, and I can picture the cover, and I remember the first Captain America that I bought, and all of that. And then I switched over into DC, and, I bought those in addition.
How do you? So I know that you've got. Is it close to 100,000 copies or issues?
Well, no. The record I have the count was from about a year ago is 101,822.
Where are you keeping 100,000?
Since then, I've got more than 1,000 more.
But where are you keeping them?
Well, I keep a lot. I keep some of the older stuff in here. I've got them over in this area. So this isn't obviously all of them. Do you have a garage somewhere? I have this room. If you see this room is the bonus room of the house, and it's about 35, 40 feet long. It's over a 3-car garage. So the 3-car garage, 2 of the 3 cars is comic books, and then my car's in there too. But
so before we take a look at all these, for those of you just tuning in, I'm in Mission Viejo with Bob Bretall, and he has the largest collection of comic books, and it's quite extraordinary. If you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Bob about comics, because this is the comic book aficionado here, write them in the comment box below, and we might be able to ask them live on the broadcast.
Dino asks, who's your favorite superhero from DC?
From DC, Green Lantern. Love Green Lantern. The reason I love Green Lantern is the power ring. He got that power ring, and anybody can be Green Lantern. You don't have to have had your parents murdered in an alleyway and grew up as a billionaire like Bruce Wayne. I didn't have to come from Krypton. I didn't have to be born on Amazon Island.
I'm the daughter of Zeus. I've been doing my research.
None of that kind of stuff. I could get that ring and I could be a Green Lantern. I just need to have willpower.
So he's like the everyday superhero.
I always liked Green Lantern. He was my favorite DC.
Show me what's in this wonderful cupboard.
So when I have it closed, I have some original art on it. And this, when they draw a comic book, they don't draw it really small like in a comic book. They make these big black and white
so I've always wondered that, because when they're small, the detail is also fine. I didn't understand how they did that. They shrink them back down again.
So normally they do pencils. Now this one they reproduce directly from the pencils because they're getting more. So you can see that's much lighter. But it's very delicate. I love this artist called Jay Anacleto. Mm-hmm. But then normally they would take the penciled art, and then an ink artist would come in and they would do ink on top of the pencils. And then they would reduce and they would do color separation and they would do all that kind of stuff. So let's open this up and look inside. I've got some things called drawer boxes in here, and I like Stan Lee. So he got me.
So cute. Little bobblehead Stan Lees. Oh.
So
these are full of.
This side has stuff that I'm getting bound or I haven't yet got bound. Binding comics is kind of fun for people. You can go to places that do, book binding, and you can get comic books made into.
Oh wow, that's so. I've never seen that before.
So I have stories that I like, kind of favorite ones. This one's War of the Worlds. I loved this when I was a kid. This is one of those ones where I was telling you, Marvel did. This is a Marvel comic, but it's not a superhero. This is kind of roughly based on H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, but you know, then you have this badass guy who fought the Martians who were occupying Earth.
So is it
And-
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, it's not that, but you know, you can kind of see. And so this is actually a parallel set because I don't take my only copy and get it bound. So
Of course.
I bought.
You know, it'd be sacrilege to cut up a comic book. Yeah.
So you know, but I've got some of those in there. In here, I've got, you know, like I got most of my Fantastic Four run in here. I really like Fantastic Four.
Tell me,
I've
what
got-
does your wife think of all this?
She knew the job was dangerous when she took it. Let's put it that way.
I suppose because when she met you, you came with
I was
the comic book
already
collection.
ready. I didn't hide it from her. We've been married over 30 years.
Oh, congratulations.
So we were married in
Is she
1985.
Is she into it?
She doesn't really read comics. She's read a few comics. One of the few comics she's read is Gru the Wanderer by
Okay.
Sergio Aragonés. I have a
Never
hat.
heard of that.
Here's Gru.
Oh, this
we'll
one.
do a little dance.
Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but Sergio does. Actually, I can show you a better shot of Gru.
Let's wander more because this place is like a little treasure
So,
trove.
this is what's called an artist's edition. Now, these are done by a company called IDW, and what they do for people who can't afford to buy the original art, they take the original art and they scan it in
Aww.
at original size in color. It's black and white, but you can kind of see, you know, where things have been pasted
Oh,
on. You
yeah,
can
like
see
the
the blue
drawing,
lines. You
yeah.
can see margin notes on.
Oh, that's lovely.
So Gru is this kind of dim-witted barbarian character, and he goes around having adventures. And you know, people know Sergio probably from those little marginals in Mad Magazine, along the edges of all Mad Magazine comics for the last 40 years. But this is Sergio's original creation, Gru the Wanderer. She likes Gru. She hasn't really read a lot of other comics, but when we met Sergio for that, he drew the little sketch of Gru and Ruferto in here for
Oh,
us.
that's amazing.
You know, so
Oh, that's incredible.
um,
So if you're just tuning in, I'm here with Bob Bretall. We're in Mission Viejo, and this is the largest comic book collection. He has the Guinness World Records title, and it's something quite incredible. Not just comics, it's figurines and memorabilia and artwork. It's truly extraordinary. You
And-
must absolutely just
Yeah.
revel in this.
there's lots of ways to collect, and that's what I like about collecting comics. You know, a lot of people will ask, you know, it's like, how much is your collection worth? You know, what's your most expensive comic and all that? And it's like, I don't really concentrate on the dollar value because I just,
'Cause you just
I
love
like,
them.
I love the comics. But somebody who wants to have just perfect, valuable comics, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that makes, that's their style of collecting, and that's what makes them happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all. It's what it's all about. You know, you collect, it makes you happy. Some people like getting them. We
Never
call
touching them.
Well, we call it slabbing, right? You know,
Okay,
it's like,
so they stay in
I've
those
got-
pristine
let's
covers.
go over here. I've
Come on,
got,
you're missing out. Come on.
here's one for you.
Yay, it's me!
So that's a slab. That's a.
Oh,
now you
so
can't
it's
you can't
truly-
read that comic book. That.
I mean, it's one and the same, really. My outfit's on point today, I
Yeah.
have to say.
So you know, you get the comics, and a lot of people. I mean, this is low grade. This is a 3.0 on a scale of 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
Well-
So for everyone at home, what does grades mean?
Okay, so think of it as the more perfect something is, the closer to a 10 it's going to be.
So,
it's
like, I'd be 10.
You'd be a 10. This is only a 3. You know, here's a.
Oh, so if it's got fingerprints, or
Yeah,
if
you
it's
know, it's like you can
torn
kind
or
of see there's
something.
like some stuff around the staple here. It's just,
Ah.
you know, they grade these things on a 10-point scale. Now, people who are really hardcore that want really high grade comics, they want, you know, they don't, you know, for an older comic, they might only want something that's like a 7 or a 7.5 or above. For new comics, they want like a 9.8 or above. Now I've got, well, here's my Guinness books here.
Oh.
You know,
Stephen
I
Holguin
keep-
asks,
I
what
keep
is your
those-
highest graded one?
Your highest
Ah.
graded comic.
my highest graded comic is a 10. I have
Do we need
one.
a fanfare? Ta-da-da!
I got one that was a 10.0 just so I would have one that was a 10.0. Where did I do with it? It's in this little case that I've got. In fact, that's it right here. It's you can kind of get down and see it. It's on the right-hand side.
Are we not allowed to touch these ones?
Well, you can pull them up, but it's in the glass.
This one. Oh, look, here we are, the 10 grade.
And it's in gold, right?
So it's Fringe,
yeah.
Red Lantern, and Red Arrow.
It's just a variant cover. And then that's a 9.9 next to it, the Rocketeer sketch cover. So, you know, I bought that just so I would have a 10. I tend not to collect a lot of slabbed books, but you know, here's
and then you can't read them.
Yeah, it's a 9.5. A lot of what I get in slabs are variant covers because I've read the comic anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's like a cool variant cover, this was from a Wizard World con. It's autographed, you know. So I got that. It's, you know, a 9.5.
Wow. So,
you know,
for those of you just tuning in, we're in Mission Viejo with the largest comic book collection. Bob Bretall has the Guinness World Records title, and it really is quite extraordinary. If you guys like what you're seeing, make sure to like our Facebook page, because we'll have loads more record holder interviews, live attempts, and if you give us your thoughts and suggestions and input, then we might be coming to a town near you to see, you know, any more records that we can break. Do you have any questions for Bob? Please let us know.
Dylan asks, do you have Batman #1?
I do not have Batman #1. I don't go all the way back into the Golden Age. So, you know, Batman #1, Action #1, and actually Batman's first appearance was in Detective Comics 27. So the first appearance of Batman is going to be Detective 27. Superman's first appearance, Action #1. Superman #1 came later. Those are very expensive.
I love that you're talking to me like I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. You're like Action #1. I have no idea. I just have the costume, okay? That's it.
It's fun because, you know, a lot of these books, like for DC heroes, someone asked, like, so some of the ones, like this is the very first appearance of the Justice League. It's Brave and the Bold 28. Nowadays, it's funny because they put lots of #1 issues out. You know, there's #1. People want #1s. Back in the 60s, they figured people wouldn't buy #1 issues because, you know, it wasn't proven yet.
Yeah,
So they would try
tried and
out,
tested.
you know, like this is the first Green Lantern. It's in Showcase number 22. And Green Lantern appeared in Showcase 22, 23, and 24 before he got Green Lantern #1. You know, they
Okay.
got the sales numbers and said, oh, people like this Green
And he
Lantern
went out on his
character.
own.
You know,
Forged his own path.
there's the first appearance of the Atom. The first Silver Age appearance of Aquaman. First Silver Age appearance of Hawkman.
Now this is one that I actually know.
Yeah,
The Hulk and the Wolverine.
right. It's actually the second appearance of Wolverine. People call it the first appearance of Wolverine. He appeared in one panel at the end of the previous issue of this. This is his first full appearance.
I actually have some questions for you.
Sure.
Because I was sat at home thinking, okay, this man knows everything about superheroes and comics. So I was thinking, with the new comic renaissance that's coming out, all these new movies where they're revisiting Superman and Batman, and there was a very contentious movie, Superman versus Batman, and everyone was like, well, who's going to win? I'm with Superman on that one. So I put together some questions,
Okay.
but with a little bit of a twist. So my one is Human Torch versus Aquaman, right? Who would make the better babysitter? And I want you guys to join in at home too. Leave your questions and thoughts in the comment box.
Aquaman.
Why do you think Aquaman would be a better babysitter?
Aquaman could, you know, get the fish in the fish tank to do little amusing things for the children. He did have a kid. The kid got killed though, so maybe that wouldn't particularly.
Maybe not.
Black Manta killed it, so it wasn't his neglectful parenting, other than just being a superhero. I guess that's a dangerous thing.
Okay, so then Black.
Those are different companies, by the way. That's DC, Aquaman, and Human Torch being.
All right. Well, for my game, we can put them together. So Black Canary.
I'm going to give you a matchup of the Submariner and Human Torch. That would be,
Okay, now you're going into your real knowledge. I like it. Black Canary versus Harley Quinn. Which would make a better contestant on The Bachelor? Have you even seen it?
I have not seen it, but I know of it.
So which one do you think is the more emotionally stable to go on The Bachelor?
Do they really want emotionally stable people on The Bachelor?
Yeah.
I was kind of going with Harley because she's just insane.
She's nutty.
She's insane, so she would actually go on a reality TV show. And any of the bachelors who displease her, she'd just smack them with a big hammer instead of using a rose or something to make them go away.
I like it. Okay, what about Dr. Doom or Nick Fury? Which one of those would you want representing you in court? Which one do you think's got the most charm?
Well, it's not about charm, but I would go with Nick Fury because, he's a super spy, so he could get some dirt on whoever I was up against in court and use that against them.
Oh, okay.
Because he knows everything about everyone.
Okay. What do you guys at home think?
Now, if the court was in Latveria, which is Doom's country that he runs, then I guess I would want Doom, because the word of Doom is law there.
Exactly. He is God.
Aiden asks, what's your opinion on the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Once Marvel got control of it back and have been putting out these connected movies, it's that shared universe concept where, at the end of the movie you got the little teasers and they kind of all tie together, all the way up to the latest Civil War movie. I mean, that was an awesome movie. They got all those characters in, they got them all to have, they felt like they all had a personality.
Did you enjoy the
best
new
Spider-Man
movies?
I have ever seen on film was Tom. The guy who played Tom, I forget his last name, Holland maybe.
The newest
The new
one.
one who's in Civil War.
Okay, yeah.
The young kid, because he's what Spider-Man was.
But my problem with that is I feel like it just completely eradicated all the Spider-Man movies because all of a sudden now
they did.
Iron Man plucked him from his bedroom.
But those other movies were made by Sony. They weren't made by Marvel Studios. So Marvel Studios got Spider-Man back, and they're introducing Spider-Man into the Marvel shared cinematic universe.
Okay.
And Spider-Man started as this teenager. And, Tobey Maguire, as good an actor as he is, he was a little long in the tooth to be a teenager, even in that first movie that he did, so...
Well, this has been absolutely amazing. I'm truly in awe of all your collection. Thank you so much. We're in Mission Vieja with Bob Bretall, and truly incredible collection of the largest comic book collection. If you love all things Guinness World Records, then make sure to go to their website to check out some more. And also, the Guinness World Records 2017 edition is in stores now. It's just launched, so go to your nearest bookstore to find a copy. Thank you so much for watching. I think we're gonna play. I'm gonna play dress up with all of the things.
And you had your eye on that Sauron helmet over there.
Oh yeah, let's go play.
Wonder
Thanks so
Woman
much.
with Sauron helmet on.